Welcome back to the Toppling TBR. I'm Stacey.
And I'm Hannah. Today we are going to dive into our top 10 reads of the year so far. It was very hard for me to limit down this list to 10. It was easier to do like a top 20, but we've got it. So my number 10 book was The Unmaking of June Farrow by Adrienne Young. It took a topic that apparently I love. It's got a little bit of time travel in it, but she was able to introduce it in such a way that it felt completely unique. It felt like something that I have not read about almost. It was mysterious and it had a touch of murder mystery, and it was a beautiful book. It was a beautiful book. So it follows the don't want to do spoilers or anything because I love going in blind, but it follows all of the Farrow women through generations, and they all just are understood that they'll go mad at some point.
Ooh.
I don't want to spoil anything, but do they go mad? It's beautiful. It's got so many. It reads like a long novel or even like a series, but it's a short book, and it's great. It would make an incredible movie.
I bet. I've actually not read it. It is on my TBR. It's one I haven't gotten to yet, but I think I'm gonna have to bump it up higher now.
Yeah, you
Sounds
should.
great.
It's really good.
It sounds great.
So unique.
Awesome. Have you read a lot of her books?
I haven't. It was my first and only one from her. I actually don't know any other books of hers. Have you read any of them?
No, I think it's just that one. I saw it on Bookstagram, and I have it. I haven't got around to it yet.
It's really good. It's like, it's not even super fast paced. It's perfectly paced. It's so well done.
Book was Enchantra, which is by Kaylie Smith. That one is part of the Wicked Games series. I don't know if you've read either of these.
It's on my list.
Now, it's got this girl, her name's Weir. She's going on a mission to find out what happened to her mother, because what happened was the mother died and the powers got sent to her sister. So she is looking for a necromancer that her mother knew in her past to try and figure out what happened to her mother. But she ends up getting caught up in this demonic game in this house. Like, she turns up at the just wrong moment, and then she's like, I want entry in, and they're like, go away. Like, shoot, you don't want to be here right now. And she's like, screw that. And she sneaks in, and they're like, well, you can't get out now. You're stuck in this like deadly game. And she's human, so she could potentially die, whereas the rest of them will they all come back the following year to play the game again, except for the winner. He gets to live.
Okay.
Yeah, so I was like, and it was so much better than the first book. The first book was good because her sister, it was based on her sister. The first book, this was her story. And it was so much better than the first book. It really was. I really enjoyed her more as a character. And the games were so much more fun. Like, it was, yeah, and it was a little spicy. It was one of those, like...
Sounds good.
Yeah. I don't read a great deal of dark romance. It was definitely one of my favorites so far.
Yeah. All right. So my number 9, and I actually have 2 of her books on here, but my number 9 was Sword of Kaigen by M.L. Wang. Have you read any of her works?
No. I've seen her all over Bookstagram, not tried her yet.
So I've only read 2, and they both made my top 10. And I've read like 120 books this year. So she is a phenomenal author. And they're very different. So Sword of Kaigen it's a war story, but it doesn't glorify war or anything. It's kind of between the two perspectives of the mom and the son. It follows both of them. The mom has like a past life and was a badass, I guess, warrior, but she's, a mom now. And so all of these things start to happen, and the character growth in this story is phenomenal. And the fact that this even made my top 10 is wild because I didn't really like the ending. Like, I was pretty unsatisfied with the ending. I don't think it should be a standalone. I think that it should be a duology because she did not wrap up all of the ends, like all the loose ends.
Are you sure it's not going to have a sequel?
It's a standalone, and it kind of still makes me mad reading that or hearing that because there's so much more, and it's so good, and it's so deep, and there's so much that she needs to talk on and answer that she didn't. But it's okay. It's a very emotional book. I cried like a baby. She does not hold anything back. She is very good at writing about grief and family, and it's incredible. I don't know. It's so good. It's elemental magic.
Nice.
And It did take me a long time to get into because first of all, the glossary is huge. So she has their own unit of measurements of time, and this world that she's built is so layered and intricate, and it's really good. It took a while for me to get into though. So, but once you get in, you're sucked in, and it's all you can think about.
Nice. So is the other book the same kind of genre as well
It's
then?
completely different.
Oh,
Like,
okay. Oh, that's
you
exciting.
wouldn't even think that it was the same author. So this one is like a war story with elemental magic, and the other one is more like of a dark academia kind of vibe. Completely different magic system.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
So my book 9 is The Maid's Secret by Nita Prose. Now this is part of the Molly the Maid series. I don't know if you've ever heard of the
I
Molly the
have
Maid
heard of
series.
it. It's on my very long TBR.
Yeah, it's one of those book series that you either love Molly or you don't. And I think that's one of the biggest things between people when they say it's good and when it's bad is how you feel about Molly as a character. So this was like the latest installment of the series. And it's all about Molly, how she's getting married. She's living with her soon to be husband. She's still working at the hotel, but she finds that she has something in her possession that's worth a lot of money. And she didn't know that until she took it into the hotel where they're doing like a treasure hunters like season at the hotel where people bring their treasures and see how much they're worth. And they want to do an auction. And then someone steals it. So it's all about who stole it, why, like, and then
Okay.
Molly learns a lot of secrets about her grandmother who's passed away. So it was one of those books that it was pivotal in understanding how Molly ended up where she ended up, who her grandmother was, and why she was taking care of her when the mother wasn't. It was a really, really solid book because we spent a lot of time in the past of her grandmother. So it was two points of view, two timelines. It was really good. It was probably one of my favorites of the series so far. And I really love Nita Prose. Nita Prose sent me a Christmas card. Like she's awesome.
Really? Is it a
Yeah,
finished
yeah.
series?
No, this was I think this is book 4 because she did. I think there's 3, and then there's like a novella that she did like a Christmas mystery one. That's what she sent with the Christmas card. So, and she's not finished yet. She's definitely not finished yet. But I really adore Molly. She's a little different. She loves being a maid. Like that's all she wants to be in her life. Is the best maid she can be. She's not aspiring for much else. So yeah, I really like Molly. No, it's a really cute series, and I like the mystery stuff too. So yeah, it was good.
Okay, cool. I'll have to check it out. All right, my number 8 is, and I don't necessarily know how to say her name, but it's As Long as the Lemon Trees Grow by Zoulfa Katouh.
Yeah, something like that. I'm terrible with names. Terrible.
Yeah, a couple of the names on here, I'm like, I hope I'm pronouncing these right, not butchering them. But it takes place in Homs, Syria, at the beginning of the Syrian war. And it's not my typical genre, but because usually I just like to escape. I like to escape reality and just, go into this fun world. And this was not necessarily a fun read at all. It was actually a really difficult read.
Oh,
Like I cried a lot. And it follows a character who she is a pharmacist, but she now is left in Syria and is volunteering to like help nurse people. You have like a front row seat to the devastation and like the bombing and all of
wow.
this. And it's really intense. And she's trying to struggle between, do I stay? I love my country, or do I, try to flee to safety? And she's got really vivid imagery in it. So it's a little difficult to read, but it is a phenomenal book. I feel like everybody should read it at some point. I don't know. It's her writing style. I also have not read anything else of hers. Her writing style is so poetic. I think I highlighted like so many different quotes and stuff just from the way that she worded things. It was so beautiful. There was one thing, there was one quote that stood out to me in it, and she was talking, about life and everything, and it just said a war was raging, and it seemed I was the only casualty. And I was like, oh, okay, that's just her style of writing. It's so good.
Yeah, it sounds really good. It's not on my radar, but it kind of
Really, you
is
haven't heard
now.
of
I
it?
love books that make me cry. I love books that make me cry my bloody eyes out. And my number one.
I think I like books that tear my heart out because in reading through mine, I think I cried at every single book.
Really? So
Yeah.
that's how you get to the top 10 for Hannah. You have to make the cry.
Yeah, I have. And then I've also noticed I've reread my top like 3 or 4. I'm rereading my 4th one right now. But so if they're good enough for me to reread is how I'll
Yeah. I
I'll
used
put
to
them.
reread a lot, not so much anymore. Like there's so
It's
many
hard
books now, but I
whenever your
used
TBR is so long. There's so many good
yeah,
books.
it's crazy. Like I really want to.
I'm like a believer in the first time you read a book, you're not reading it, you're experiencing it. So if it was such a good experience that I want to experience it again, and then I get to actually read it for the first time and actually pay attention and find all the little Easter eggs and notice
Yeah.
things I didn't notice the first time through. And it just, half the time whenever I do that, it makes me love the book even more.
I think it was like that for me with the Night Circus. I really loved that book the first time, but when I read it the second time, I really felt it. Like, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
maybe more people should reread. Maybe you'd appreciate your books a bit more.
I used to reread all the time whenever I was young. I started reading on Harry Potter, and I think I've read the whole series like 10, 20 times.
Same, same. You should see my copy. I've got the copy of Order of the Phoenix, and it doesn't have a front cover or back cover anymore. I've read it so many times, but I
Yeah.
can't get rid of it. It's first edition. Like I bought it first edition, but the covers are gone, and my husband's like, "I'll replace them." I'm like, "That's fine, but I'm still keeping it."
Yeah, for sure. My husband doesn't like covers or dust jackets. He just gets rid of them, and I'm like, "Where'd you put it?" It's like, I don't know. I
Yeah,
don't care.
no, you have to keep them. You have to keep
It's artwork.
Man, I know.
Even if it's not good.
Girl thing, I'm sure. Okay, so we're on number 8, right? Yeah.
Yes.
So my number 8 was, and this was a surprise for me because this is not a book I would normally pick. And it was First Time Caller by P.K. Borison. I don't know if
Okay.
you've read this one.
It's on my TBR.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. So this woman, she has a daughter, and the father is gay, and he has a partner, and that's like her. She loves her job. She doesn't feel like she's alone, but her daughter can see things that she can't, and she calls her into this like romance hotline to like help her mom find love. And then the mom, Lucy, ends up being on the show with the guy that does the radio show, and he's like anti-love. He doesn't believe in it. He's like really grumpy. So the show's kind of dwindling. So they're hoping that Lucy coming on to try and find love on the airways will like boost ratings and find her a man. And their chemistry together, like Aiden and Lucy, that was the magic right there. It was like how she's like, they're so different, but they're the same. And she kind of unravels a little bit and shows more of herself. And Aiden's like, you can see that he wants to be open to love, but he's so scared. It was magic for me. And I love the banter. I really love the banter. Books like this don't normally hit my top 10, but yeah, that one really surprised me. So I
Really?
loved it. Really,
Good.
yeah. It was really
Good.
cute. It was really sweet. And I like the dynamic between her and her daughter and then her and her ex. And like it was great. It was really well written. And I listened to the audiobook and I did read it as well. So and for me the audiobook, giving them voices in my head really helped.
Do you do them both at the same time? Because that's typically
I
how
don't normally. I don't normally, but I did with this one just because I wanted to, when I was reading it, I wanted to hear what their voices sounded like. So, like, I listened to a good portion of it, but I read most of it. But yeah, it's just what I wanted. So that's what I did. I'm really glad I did because it was really, really brilliant. Not like, they're not going to be winning any literary awards for writing, but for me,
But
like, the
you loved it.
characters and, yeah, I love that. I love cheesy stuff.
I do too sometimes. Okay, so my number 7 was Muse of Nightmares by Laini Taylor. It's the second one in the Strange the Dreamer duology.
I like that book.
Oh my gosh, first of all, it doesn't feel like a YA at all because it is rich. Like there is so much to every single character in it. It is phenomenal. It's a book on like gods, ghosts, impossible dreams. Like it's got everything in it. And one thing I loved so much about it is the main male character, Laszlo, he's a delight. He's so refreshing. He is so unlike any other main male character in any of the other books I read. He's just like
Nice.
this kind-hearted, open-minded, just wants all the information and all the books and all the stories, and he's incredible. One thing I really liked about it too is they're like, yeah, there's a villain, but there's also kind of not a villain because you also kind of love her. Like it was a really confusing relationship that I had with her because I'm like, I hate her, but I love her. And like I don't know how to feel about it. And she does this really good job at like every character is dealing with their own trauma and their own past and everything and trying to figure it out and grow and come out on the other side. And she did such a good job. And not only that, but her writing style it was beautiful. And I can't even think of another word for it. It was poetic in its own way. Like it was so good. It was
Strange the Dreamer. Did really
You
enjoy
haven't
it.
read the second one?
No,
So the
not
second
yet.
one is Strange the Dreamer. To me, I actually almost didn't finish it because it was a very slow start. And I think she
Yes.
does that intentionally. She like slowly embeds these characters in your head and like you just become so attached to them. But the second book is more action packed. It's definitely where things start to pick up. And there's not like a ton of fighting in it, but I remember the fighting scene. There was a scene where they kind of, get to use their powers.
Yeah.
And it was so cool. Like it was one of the cooler action scenes that I've read. It was awesome.
I love that.
So
Well, it's
love it.
definitely
Great
on my
duology.
list.
You should read it. But I would refresh on the first book first.
I would definitely have to. I think, crikey, when did I read that? It was ages ago. Somebody else recommended it to me before I even started influencing. So it was a very long time ago. So I definitely
Mm-hmm.
have to. I would definitely, and I think I borrowed it from the library. So I'd have to hunt a copy down.
Yeah, I did the audio for Strange Dreamer and I read Muse of Nightmares. The audio is really good. But I haven't read any other of Laini Taylor's work. And I think her other series is Daughter of Smoke and Bone or something like that. And I heard that one is really good too. And I actually heard that she has Easter eggs from that series in the Strange Dreamer duology too. So
Get
I like
out.
whenever they do
I
the
love when they do that.
crossovers.
I love it
Yeah,
when they do that. You're like,
me too.
woohoo, I know. Okay. My number 7 was Mob Queen by Erin Bledsoe. Now this was a different one for me because it was a historical fiction based in the 1930s when it was the time of the mob. And I don't know if you know much about mobsters from back in the 1930s, but there was a guy called Bugsy Siegel, and there was a woman who was his downfall, and her name was Virginia. And this is basically the fictionalized stories of what happened and how she rose through the ranks of the mob, trying to figure out what happened to her friend. So she like joins in, makes it look like she's this silly woman, so that the mob men trust her because it was the fighting factions between New York and Chicago. And it was basically her story of her trying to figure out what happened to her friend. She just goes missing. And it was really, really good. And I didn't expect to enjoy it because it was published by not one of the bigger publishers, but by a smaller publishing house. So when I received a review copy of it, I wasn't expecting a great deal, but the writing was brilliant. Like she literally transported me to 1930s, and I wished I was wearing the right clothes. You know what I mean? Like I felt like I was
Yeah.
embedded and I was in danger, and it was brilliant. Absolutely loved it. And I don't read a lot of historical fiction based during that time, but oh wow, it was.
I haven't even heard of that book.
No, I think it just came out.
Okay.
I had a review copy of it about 3 months ago. I think it just came out at the end of June, first week of July, maybe. But yeah, it was a solid book, and I wasn't. It might be because my expectations were fairly low that I really enjoyed it. But yeah, she sucked me right in. These characters were so well rounded, and maybe it helps that they really were real people once upon a time.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it was all about her mostly. Like Boxy was a secondary person, so it was really cool to watch how she what she did to get where she needed to get to destroy him. It was loved it, loved it.
Like that. Okay, so my number 6 is Golden Sun by Pierce Brown. It's the second one in the Red Rising trilogy, I guess. I haven't read the second trilogy yet.
No.
I don't even have words for how much I love this book. So the first book, Red Rising, was good. I think I only gave it 3 stars though. I remember calling my friend and I was like, I don't feel emotionally connected to any of the characters. There
Yeah,
was drama and things that happened that usually I would have cried over. And I didn't feel connected. But I'm going to keep reading. And I am so glad that I did because
yeah.
Sun was absolutely incredible. I started listening to it on a road trip. And I'm not even kidding. I was driving down the highway like this. Like I just had my mouth hanging open the entire time. And I'm like, people are driving past me. They're probably like, what is going on with this girl? It is wild. So Darrow, the main character, really comes into his own finally.
Yeah.
And he's a badass. And just the plot twists and the betrayal and I think, and I've only read the first trilogy, but I think that Red Rising has probably the best villain that I've
Really?
read. I can't think of a better one. Well, and I don't know that better is the right word, but he writes him very well. But the plot twists in it were wild. Trust no one. Don't trust Pierce Brown if you haven't read his work. Don't trust that you're gonna get a happy. Oh my gosh, he's got the best twists, I think, of anything. And I'm not gonna lie whenever I say I think that the ending of Golden Sun, it wasn't necessarily good, but it was the most wild ending that I've read in my life. Like, I just mouth hanging open, huge cliffhanger, huge twist. It was so good. I cannot recommend the series enough. You should absolutely read it.
Definitely going to add that to my TBR.
So amazing. The mornings are also amazing, but Golden Sun has my heart for sure. And I will be reading the next set of books. I'm just waiting for his last one to be released. I think it'll be released in about a year. So I'm pausing and then I'll go back into it. Yeah, well, I'm gonna have to reread. What's up?
I was going to say, do you reread the books like when a new one comes out?
Yeah, usually I do. I almost always do. But I will reread them anyway because like I said, Red Rising was not my favorite. And so I don't think that I had the right mental state in reading them to like appreciate it the way that I should because they got better and better and they're so good. I want to go back and actually read the first book with the appreciation that I have for the series now.
I was going to say, I wonder if you will up your star rating now that you've got the feel of the series, whether or not that will
It
change.
probably will. Because his writing style is different. I typically tend to read female authors. So reading from a male perspective is a little bit different.
Yeah, I bet it is. That's cool.
Yeah.
So my number 6 is The Dollhouse Academy by Margarita Montimore. Now, this one was a really interesting one because it's a thriller story, but what she did was she kind of toned the thriller down enough to make the mystery more prominent in there. So it's like a thriller mystery. So these two girls, and they really want to join the dollhouse. The dollhouse basically creates the next round of TV stars, models, musicians, TV stars. So when you go in there, you're pretty much guaranteed to have the ride to anywhere, the ticket out to be a celebrity. But there's all this sinister stuff that happens at the house. And somebody that was there before is leaving one of the new girls, Ramona, notes warning her to get out. But she doesn't want to. She wants to be famous. Like, this is what she's been working towards. And you kind of see, like, the past from Ivy. That's who's been leaving her the notes. What happened to her and why she's warning the two girls off. And then what happens to her friend while they're in the house. And I don't want to spoil it because, like, when I found out what was happening in this house, I was like, what? Huh? And my husband's like, why are you yelling?
See,
I'm like, was that coming out loud? He's like, calm down. So I was like, whoa, dude. No, like the twist in that book, probably. So that's one of the reasons why I loved it. Now, it was one of those books that wasn't paced brilliantly, like quick paced thrillers.
Me
I
too.
want you to give me all the information quickly. But this one kind of like, it kind of weaves this story. And then, yeah, it was like a big kaboom.
I will have to read that because I love thrillers. I read a ton of thrillers, but they don't make it to my top anything. Like I don't ever love them. I really enjoy them, but I don't know. They're not, I guess, rich or layered enough for me to put into a top 10.
For me, it's normally these books tend to, they're twisty and turny. So they're always, that's what they are. And you know what you're going to get. It's really hard for thrillers to have all the blocks that I need for it to be honest. This one was, oh my God, it was
perfection. Okay, I will add that because I've been wanting to dive into another thriller. And then, like, the last one I read was good, but it wasn't amazing.
Yeah, I think that's just kind of the way thrillers are. You're going to get twisty turns. I never usually care much about the characters. So for me, I have to have an emotional connection to a person to care that they're in danger. Usually
the characters annoy me because I feel like how the twists and turns happen is them being naive or, dumb.
Yeah, you're an idiot. You're an idiot. Get the hell out of the way. You know what? You are going to be that one that runs upstairs when the guy's with the knife.
You deserve to die.
The front door. Yeah. So, yeah, I'm the same. So, yeah, that was quite surprising that one hit mine too. So, no, I really enjoyed it.
I like that. Okay, my number 5 is Kindred by Octavia E. Butler. Have you read any of her works?
I have like 5 of her books.
Okay, I've read 3. I've read this one and then Parable of the Sower and Parable of the Talents. And those probably have a spot in my top 10 as well. But I was like, I'll just pick one from her. And Kindred is definitely more fast paced. It follows a Black lady where she gets pulled back into the antebellum South. And so she's leaving this life of freedom and everything, and she's being dropped into a life of slavery. So the time travel in this book is not necessarily fun. It's kind of terrifying. And Octavia E. Butler is very good at not letting you look away. Like, she takes all of these horrific events, and she puts them right in your face, and you feel them, and you really feel the horrors of the slavery, and it is devastating. But she does it in, I don't know, my review of the book afterwards is I wrote, what a complex and infuriating story, but it was perfectly executed.
Nice.
It is just so good. She's so good. I eventually will read my way through every single one of her books because she's brilliant. Touches on slavery, and then Parable of the Sower is in like this after the government has kind of collapsed. They've got like a tyrant leading them, and they're kind of on the but I don't want to even spoil anything, but it's more
I know it's hard.
it's slower paced, it's more philosophical, it'll make you think, it'll make you question all of that. And then Kindred is fast paced, throw you in. You're a little bit horrified by what's going on, but it's still just, it's incredible.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm definitely going to get to her. I definitely am going. Number 5 was Compass Points by Jillian Witt. Now, this one was a fantasy book. And I read a lot of fantasy this year, but this one really stood out. And this one's been out for a while, and I haven't read the rest of the series yet. But it's about this girl, Rose, and she runs away from the Fae court because she was in danger. They thought that she had died. But she lives in a town where no one knows who she is, but she's kind of protecting them. And this big mist comes. And this guy, Luke, from the Fae court arrives at the same time. And she's the only one that can stop the mist coming and killing everybody. But she has to go back to the court in hopes that no one recognizes her. So she's like, is this person going to recognize me? Like, it was absolutely brilliant. Now, Jillian Witt, she's on Instagram. She's always online. She's a really nice lady. And everyone was reading her books. And I was like, oh, it doesn't sound like my kind of book. It really doesn't. I'm like, I like a lot of fantasy books, but this one's... And she was like, please, just give it a shot. I'm like, no. So I missed out, like, when she was doing her ARC team. Like, I missed out. She was already on book 3 by the time someone else said to me, they were like, look, just try it. So I did, and I'm like,
what, 5? That's awesome.
I literally had to send her a message saying, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
She's like, I knew you'd like it. I don't know why you didn't trust me. And I'm like, oh, because I don't know, like the blurb that she kept posting on her page, I'm like,
work on that.
I'm like,
I love fantasy. That sounds interesting to me. So I will read that.
It's really good. I think she just dropped book 3, but I'm waiting for the library to come up with book 2. And if I'd have just accepted my fate back then, I would have already had all 3 books. So that's kind of on me now. But my library, the wait is like long for these books. And she's like, I'll send you book 3, but you're still gonna have to wait for book 2. So I'm like,
that sucks. Yeah, I'm trying to get over. I used to not be okay with reading series that were not finished because I don't like the wait time and having to reread and all of that. But I'm trying to get over that. And I've read a lot of first books and series lately.
Yeah.
And I'm like mad about it because half of them leave off on these cliffhangers. And I'm like, well, now I have to wait a whole freaking year or 2.
8 cliffhangers. And you know what? I never was that worried about book series not being finished until George R.R. Martin ruined Game of Thrones for me, okay? So I'm like, I don't care if he finishes it now. Hands me the book covered in gold. I ain't reading it, okay? He has pissed me right off.
I never even finished what is the 5th one, Dance of Dragons. I never even finished that one.
I got it on the first day it was released and finished it that day. And it's been 12, 13 years. And he's still like, I'll get around to it later. I've got pizza dripping over his face. Like, so I won't now. I'm done with that series. The show finished. I'll accept that, and that is it. My husband's like, are you sure we can carry on reading it together? I'm like, no.
So will you, if he ends up, because how old is he, like 80-something? So if he ends up, passing and not finishing it and another author picks it up, will you read it? Like, I've heard people are going to try to get Brandon Sanderson to finish it, and he's incredible.
And I think that would work for me. And I probably would then. But right now, George R.R. Martin's not getting
any more. I understand that. There's like an acceptable time between books, and then there's like what's going on.
No, that was unacceptable. L.J. Smith did the same thing to me with that. She wrote a book series, and she released 9 books in 3 books, so it's like 3, 3, 3. And then she just never released book 10, and that was it. And she passed away, so that's just never happening. So that really annoyed me as well.
Yeah, as it should. All right, my number 4 is a book that I just read. It is The Night and the Moth by Rachel Gillig. And whenever I say I love this book, I don't even think I've DNF'd 3 books since reading it just because they wouldn't suck me in. And now I just decided, I had my friend buy it. We share an Audible account. I had her buy it so she could listen to it. I pushed it on her, and now I'm listening to it again.
Nice.
It's so good. Rachel Gillig does, unique magic systems really well, and this one's very unique, but it's also very simple. It's, there's a magical item, and it's got 2 functions, like basically kind of like a push and a pull.
Yeah.
And it follows, her name is Six. She's a diviner, So they learn how to drown, and in drowning in these like, I can't remember the name of the waters, but like they're essentially like these holy waters. They can see people's like fortune. So people will come to them to like read their fortune while they're drowning, but they don't drown. They're still alive. And she's got, another 5 diviners with her, and they start to go missing, I guess. And so she's on like this quest to find them, and all of these other things come into play, and the romance is very slow burn. It's very good. And whenever I say I have a favorite side character, I do not think words do this gargoyle justice. He is so funny, and he's not even trying to be. Like, she wrote this character to be phenomenal. I cackled. Like, I chuckle sometimes whenever I read books. I laugh, quietly. I was laughing out loud. He is
Nice.
so funny.
I
It
love
is so
books that make me laugh too.
Yeah, it's
Love them.
funny. I cried, I laughed, I felt all of the emotions. It is a little bit slower paced than I typically go for, but it worked in this one. It allowed the emotions to kind of grow slowly, and then whenever they hit you at the end, it's like bam. So
Nice.
that being said, it did leave off on a pretty big cliffhanger, and that is one reason I don't love reading unfinished series, is now I have to wait.
Yeah, see, that's
Mhm.
because I try not to read very many series. Most of my books are standalone.
I love series though. It allows so much more. You get to feel so much
No,
more.
do you know what really put me off? I don't know if you've ever read The Red Queen,
I
the
haven't.
series. Okay, so book 1 is phenomenal. Book 2 was good. Book 3 was, and book 4, I could have set fire to it and not cared. Like, she really rushed the series for me. Like,
Really?
yeah, like book 1 was phenomenal, and they just got
I heard, and I'm pretty sure it was Red Queen that I heard that Powerless kind of ripped off. So have you read Powerless?
no. It's on my
Okay,
list.
I'm not positive, but I'm pretty positive that they said that it was kind of a very similar storyline. So
Yeah,
I will
I heard the same thing from about Crave by Tracy Wolf, that she'd stolen that one too.
see, and it's so hard too. Like there's so many like borrowed tropes and themes and everything, and that's why I really like whenever you find one that is just completely unique.
Yeah,
That's why I feel like
yeah.
The Night and the Moth was very unique.
I need more of that. So
Have you read Rachel Gillig's other, The Shepherd King duology?
no, it's on my list. I do have it written down. It's just like I said, committing to series is really hard for me.
It's
So I
only
read
2
the
books.
Black. Oh, is it really? Oh, okay. Okay,
It's a
maybe I will
completed
give that a shot
duology.
then. Oh, maybe I'll give it a shot then. It's
I
so hard.
found it
So
I was
carry
gonna
on.
say, I found it a little predictable. I feel like she told us what was gonna happen, which I didn't love.
Yeah.
Even knowing that and even being able to predict things that happened at the end, it was awesome. The magic system is kind of like a tarot card kind of thing. Like whoever's in possession of the card can access and use the powers, and you can tap it on, tap it off. It was, whenever I say poetic, I mean, I feel like there actually is like poetry in the books. Like it's cool. She does like the dark gothic fantasy very well.
Nice. No, I actually have not read any of her books yet. She is definitely on my list.
She's good.
But my next one is A Witch's Guide to Magical Innkeeping by Sangu Mandana. Now, I read the first book, and it's not really a book series per se, but they're kind of in the same world. So the guild is the center base of this. But Sarah is a witch, and she casts a spell that's forbidden. And when she casts it, her powers kind of diminish. Now, the guild could have helped her retrieve her magic, but they made the decision not to, and they banished her. So she is living in this inn where people show up when they have a need to be there. Otherwise, you can't find it. Like, this inn only appears when somebody has a real need for it. And she's doing her thing. This is years later, and this guy with his sister shows up, and he's part of the guild who works in is a historian, and he holds the key to her getting her magic back because he can read the text for the spell. So they kind of let him. He's really icy, and his sister has autism, and she has magic, and she doesn't understand. She has to keep a secret. So that's why they're there, because their parents can't handle her. It was one of those books where I was like, oh, I felt like I was getting hugged. It's like a cozy cup of tea, a rainy day. It was one of those books where I was like, oh, that was nice. And I like the
Yeah.
magic part. And her writing is phenomenal. She's one of those writers that really, she's very descriptive without being overly descriptive. So she doesn't spend half an hour talking about a tree, but you know how magical that tree is based on how she's talked about it. So I
Right.
really enjoyed that. Like, I like the description about the inn and all the magic and how everything changes at the end. I really enjoyed it. It's just come out, so
I will read it.
yeah, really enjoyed it.
All right. So my number 3 is, I'm just going to put both books on here because they're both phenomenal, but The House in the Cerulean Sea by TJ Klune and the sequel. Words cannot express how much I love these books. It follows Linus Baker. Linus Baker. Oh, by the way, the narrator is phenomenal. I don't know if you've listened to the audiobook, but he really brought the characters to life.
Yeah, I've done both. So I've read and
Same.
I have listened. It was necessary, but I love Chauncey, the boys.
Yes. I love them all. I miss that little family more than anything.
Yep.
But yeah, so it follows, Linus Baker, who is a case manager who investigates the orphanages that are, housing magical children. So he's sent to, I think it's Marcius Island, and he really it's an eye-opening experience for him, starts to question things as he knows it. And this is like, when people say found family, I think of this book immediately.
Yeah.
The characters are phenomenal. I love every single one, and they're all so diverse. Like, obviously, Lucy and Talia are, one of a kind, and they pair together. But like, I miss these children so much. It is the most heartwarming book, and I'm not even lying whenever I say my face hurt from smiling so much whenever I was listening to it. Like, it's the most heartwarming book I think I've ever read.
Yeah, I love TJ Klune. He's one of those authors that know how to hit you right in the feelers. Like, his books are all the feels, all the time.
So I've actually only read those 2 and then Under the Whispering Door, but he has now solidified as like one of my favorite authors, and I will work my way through all of his works.
It's good. It's well worth it.
So good.
My next one was Caught Up by Navessa Allen. Now, this is
a good one.
Yeah, it was a really good series, but that one was better.
I didn't like the first book very much. It was okay. Loved the second book.
It was okay. It was good enough that I wanted to read the next installment.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know. I like the characters more. I liked what they were up to with like I guess I liked the taboo subjects more in this book.
Me too. The first one, I was like, okay, a mask.
Like, I don't yuck other people's yums, but I don't know what was going on in the first book was just, it was okay. It wasn't anything to get me excited. Not that I really read books for that reason, but this one I'm like, I could totally go on board with that, like the club.
Same. I was like, this is hot. Okay.
Yeah. Totally go on board with that. And I kind of liked what was happening between them, how they knew each other when they were younger, and then what happened with them seeing each other, and then her finding out why. Like, that was all for me. It made sense. Like, I don't like the second chance trope at all. I do not think miscommunication is a very good reason for people not to talk. I think if you're an adult and you miscommunicate something and you stop talking, you go and have a new conversation. So I don't really enjoy that in books. But this one made sense. Like,
yes.
Needing a second chance makes complete sense. So, yeah, I really enjoyed it. Like, the audiobook was great. And I'm trying to source hardcovers because I don't want paperbacks, but they're like almost impossible to find here.
Yeah, I haven't seen one, I don't think, here either.
No. Well, someone said Barnes & Nobles had them at some point. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to have to learn how to rebind books then, because I need it.
I want to learn how to do that, so that could be a good excuse.
Yeah, I want to, but every time I watch the videos and someone rips the cover off, I can't, like, my stomach up inside me, I'm like, oh! I'm like, I don't know. Maybe I can't rip the covers off. I don't know.
Have someone else do it for you. And then you'll be like, what have you done to this book? I have to make it beautiful.
I don't know. Like, I bedazzle the front of books, but that seems like a step I don't know if I can take.
For sure. Okay, so my number 2 is Project Hail Mary by Andy Weir. Have you read this one?
No, but you told me to read it, and someone else told me to read it, and now...
Okay, so this is one that I am not even going to tell you really what it's about, because I went in blind, and do not watch the movie trailer before you read the book, because in my opinion, it's a huge spoiler.
Okay.
Because while I'm reading this book, I'll say it follows Ryland Grace. He was a middle school science teacher, and he basically gets drafted to come solve this problem, and it's like literally a world-ending problem. Like, he's gonna save the earth from extinction, and so he goes on this mission to outer space to do this. Whenever I say that it introduced this next aspect of the book, I got goosebumps. I, mouth hanging open, shut the book, ran in the other room to my husband, and I was like, oh my god, I think this book is going here. I am so excited. It is such a unique experience, and it takes science, which, sci-fi I enjoy, but like I don't love science like Andy Weir loves science, but he is able to introduce it in a way that is just incredible and just amazed. I can't even begin to describe how good it is. And the ending, it was so cool. Like I didn't know where he was going to go with it or how he could even wrap it up in this way. And so the ending took me by surprise, but it was so beautiful. Like I cried at the end. It's such a good book. Read it before the movie comes out, please.
It's I have to, because my husband is definitely going to want to watch it. It's really hard for me when I watch something, I don't want to read the book. I made that mistake with Practical Magic. I loved the movie, and then I read the book, and the book was so bland.
I have the book on my TBR. Is it not worth it? Because I love the movie too.
Okay, no, okay, it's nothing like the movie.
Okay, well, the movie's fantastic.
Yeah, well, it's nothing like the movie. I was really disappointed. Now, every book after that, like, because it's a series, right? If you can get through the first book and ignore the fact that it's really boring, the rest of the books get really good. Like, so I really enjoyed to go backwards in time, like from their timeline. And I'm reading, I'm like,
yeah,
I'm like, the aunts weren't even that.
That's so unfortunate.
Yeah, they really.
Movie's also a little nostalgic for me. I watched it, kind of growing up, and I loved it.
Yeah,
it was a repeat movie for me.
Yeah, I think I was 18 when the movie came out. I watched it in the movie theater, and this really
was it
old movie sat next to me.
Oh,
yeah,
maybe,
I think it was.
I guess I'm way old now, so but I say growing up. I probably mean my teenage years.
Yeah, well, I'm pretty sure it was out in 1999. So I remember this old weird dude sitting next to me in the movie theater, and I'm like, dude, the place is empty. Why are you here? And he was like, I just want some company. I'm like, I'm here for no company.
Go away.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so the next one for me was, now this was a whole series because I couldn't just pick one book, but I'm just going to talk about the first one. It was The One by John Mars. Now, I don't normally read books like this either, but he managed to take sci-fi and a thriller and kind of mashed it up to frighten the freaking hell out of me. Like, the one was, this company had come up with this way of you swab the inside of your mouth and you send it into their database and you could find your soulmate based on your DNA. So, yeah. And everyone's like, oh, well, I bet you're my soulmate, right? So they're sending in their swabs and realizing their soulmate and not the person they married. So it was like tearing families apart, and somebody got very, very upset.
That sounds really interesting. I know my list, but I haven't read what it's about yet.
Oh my God. And it was so freaking good because the whole story is based on the owner of it and all the controversies surrounding it. And then you get little nuggets of information about who it's hurt, who it's helped, who's doing this, who's doing that, who got paired off, like based on, like, I don't want to spoil it, and I really want to spoil it, but I'm not going to say anything. But I was blown away that I literally read through the whole series, and I didn't do it in the right order. So I did book 1, book 4, book 3, book 5, 2. Like, so you don't.
How? Is it? Do they not have to? Do they not go in chronological order? Can you hop around?
No, because what he did was, like, he mentions parts of other books, but it's not enough to detract from what's going on.
Okay. So they connect, but they're not an ongoing story.
Exactly, but it's all the everything you get is information about just how technology in this technotic society helps and hinders, and how there are people out there that push the technology knowing that it's dangerous, and then the people fighting against it, but you can't tell who's good and who's bad because the way people are going about stuff is just, and I was just like, oh my God. And one of the books, The Marriage Act, like, I've got nothing against marriage, obviously, but I'm like, the government gets to choose based on a checklist who you marry to stop people being single. And it was terrifying. I'm like, I did a TikTok video. I was like, John Mars, you owe me an apology and some therapy. Okay.
Funny. Yeah, I actually haven't read any of his books, but I do love thrillers, and I've heard he's amazing. So he's on my, I have a list that on my phone of my upcoming TBR things I really want to read, and no specific book, but he's been on there for like months, and I haven't done it yet. So
you have to bite the bullet. You have to, because someone else
with the one.
You can start with the one. You don't have to. Like I said, I bounced all over the place.
Have you read any of his other works though, besides that series?
No, that was my first taste of John Mars.
Okay.
Like, he writes a lot of, it's dark thrillers or speculative thrillers. So for him, it's like, he goes dark and deep, and it's frightening.
Yeah, I like that. I like that so much more than just like the superficial thriller that's, like Frida McFadden. Good enough to read, but like,
she's
not gonna make it top list at all.
No, she's sugar. She's sugar. You get a quick high and you move on.
It's addicting.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's exactly
absolutely.
what it is. But he writes, his books are not fast paced. So there's lots of point of views. If you don't like that, it's really hard. It was hard for me because I do not like a lot of point of views. But he wrote it in such a way that each point of view made sense when you started to collect all the little nuggets together. And then when you see what happens at the end, you're like, oh my God.
Okay, I like
Yeah.
that. I will bump it up my list.
I'm trying to convince my husband to read it.
Yeah, my husband also likes epic fantasies. I'm trying to get him, I have it on hold at the library, but whoever has it before me won't turn it in. I'm trying to get him to read Mistborn.
Nice. I heard that was a good one.
Oh, it's so
No,
good.
I have. I've heard it's good.
Cool. All right. My number one book, and I can with satisfaction, like, or with confidence, I can say that this is my favorite book of all time.
Really?
Like, I don't give out 6 stars often, and then this one and Project Hail Mary are both 6-star reads for me, but this one I knew was going to be 5 stars by chapter like 3 or 4. Like, just the way that she wrote. This is Blood Over Brighthaven by M.L. Wang. I love this book more than words can say, and it like broke me, and it's devastating and beautiful and all of the things. So it's a dark academia standalone fantasy book, and it follows Sayona, who the fandom on her is split. You either really like her or you hate her. I actually was kind of in the middle. She's pretty annoying for a main character. But the story is just so good. You got to get over it. Whether you like her or not, get over it because it's worth it. So she has wanted to become the first female high mage like her whole life. So she's been studying for that. And she goes in, and the magic system there is kind of scientific, kind of mathematical. They have to write spell webs and like create the perfect little formula and put it into a spellograph to create the magic. And they have to do math to make sure that they have the right force and everything. And it is super unique. And she ends up having to be confronted with maybe everything she's known is not the way that it really is. And she kind of goes into this emotional turmoil and comes out of it on the other side, and it's so good. She does a really good job at taking real world issues, like it touches on sexism, like gender equality or inequality and social injustice and all of these different things, and she writes about them in this fantasy world, but they're so applicable to our current world and real life, and it's just, Wang is incredible. Like, absolutely, of all the books I said, this is number one for a reason. So if you're going to start somewhere, read Blood Over Brighthaven.
I've already requested it from my library. I'm just waiting.
It's so
After
good.
we talked, I already added it to my Libby holds. And I went and cleared a bunch of Libby holds out. So I'm like, I'm not going to have time for this. But that one I did late. So.
Yeah. Why do they have a max hold of 15?
Oh, no, mine's actually not that bad. My library has something like 50. But I know I'm not going to get to them. I can't keep up. So I know I have to trim fat somewhere. So I'm like, I will push these holds to another time, maybe next year. But that one I did leave. So I'm excited to try it. So have you read Babel then? If that's the kind of stuff
I have.
Yeah? What did you think of it?
I liked it. It's actually a similar storyline to Blood Over Brighthaven.
Yeah, well, that's what I was wondering.
Yeah, it's similar, but it's also different. Babel was really good. One thing I did not like about it though is I feel like the author was almost trying to tell you how to feel about a lot of things that were going on, and I didn't like that. It was kind of slow paced for me. It was a good book, don't get me wrong. I think I gave it, and I'm a harsh reviewer. I think I gave it 3.5 stars, which is a book that I really like, but I probably won't reread. Maybe I will. Who knows? But it was good.
I was just curious because I've been hearing you talk about that book, and I'm like, kind of sounds like Babel, and I read Babel. I quite enjoyed Babel.
It is very similar, but Blood Over Brighthaven is better, in my opinion.
I'll read it. I'll get there. Okay, so my last book was My Friends by Frederick Backman. As you know, I'm a big fan of his, but this book, literally, it destroyed me inside. So there's a girl, she's in foster care. She goes to this place where there's a painting, and it always makes her feel better. And then she runs into this guy, and turns out he's the artist, and he's just got rid of all of his money so he can buy back his very first painting, the one that made him famous, and he gives it to her. Like, he passes away and gives it to her. He gives it to her, and now she goes on a journey with one of his friends, and it's all about them connecting with each other, trying to figure out who they are as people, and what this artist and this paint kind of trying to heal both. They're all traveling along, like chafing against each other the whole way. But it was, oh my god, I literally started crying probably by chapter 4, and it was on and off all the way. Yeah, I had like I started the day out with makeup on, and I don't wear a lot of makeup, but I had like mascara a lot and stuff like face. My husband was like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, "How okay can I be reading this book?" He was like, "You're dramatic." I'm like, "No, no, I'm not." I'm like, "You should read this book." It was one of those books that kind of, after everything that she'd been through already, she just turned 18, so she phased out of foster care, but she kind of run away. She was trying to figure out how to live her life with this like ultra like famous painting that's worth a fortune, and she's got nothing to her name. She doesn't want to sell it. Like he's like, "Why don't you just sell it and make money and go buy a house?" And it was like watching their journey together, and he's like, he just lost his friend, and she just lost her friend, and like I thought I was gonna cry talking about it, but I think I'm all right.
That's how, whenever I was like looking back and finalizing my books, the one that got me was As Long as the Lemon Trees Grow. Like I started tearing up and I was like, I hope I can talk about this book and not
Yeah.
cry. It's so
I was
good.
really worried. So I did not, like, I didn't put like anything on the bottom just in case today, because I was not, I'm like, it might happen. Yeah. I was like, but reading it, yeah, it broke me, but them finding each other as friends and kind of healing each other a little bit along the way, it made up for all the tears. Oh my God. Yeah. Like he's already a fan favorite of mine, but yeah, it
Yeah, I
was
haven't
phenomenal.
found one of his that I mean, I've only finished one and then I DNF'd another. So maybe I'll have to try My Friends and see if that one does it for me. And I'll have to actually read it because I think the only reason I DNF'd one of them is because the voices in the audio were so annoying.
Yeah, well, I read them. Like I didn't. I only listened to Anxious People because I had already read it, and I wanted to watch them. I wanted to watch the show, so I wanted to get the voices in my head first before I watched the TV show, because I really hate that when the TV
I didn't
show.
even know there was a TV show.
Oh yeah, it's dubbed, or I think it's dubbed. But it was really good. I really enjoyed the show too. It was a really good one. But A Man Called Uva that was my introduction. And I love Uva because he kind of reminds me of my husband. Like my husband's kind of like that. No one gets him the way I get him. Like his wife got him the same way. And I'm like, when I was reading it, I kept looking at him going, someone wrote about you. You're in here, grumpy bastard.
I love that. I love that.
So yeah,
Uva was a very lovable grump. Like he
yeah,
was.
I really enjoyed how it all turned out in the end for him in that book. It was magic.
I did like the ending of it. It was just a little slower pace for me. I liked it. Like I said, I think I gave that one 3.5 stars. And 3.5 stars to me is a good book. It's a good book.
I think for literary fiction, the slow pace is a given. Like they don't tend to have fast pace. The whole point is to get you involved with this character and live their life the way they're living it. So it always tends to be slow. And I don't read a lot of literary fiction because it's not really my jam, because I like fast stuff.
Me too.
But yeah, he's my favorite. He really is.
Well, I will try My Friend.
If you give it a shot, like I haven't listened to the audiobooks, I can't comment because I read it. I got an art copy of it months and months ago. It was my book of the month thing.
Yeah, I think after doing his first two the one and then the DNF, I think I'll read his other works because I've heard only great things about him. So I feel like I need to give him a real shot with my own voice in my head.
Yeah, and I think that's where the magic is. Like it really was. After I listened to A Man Called Uva afterwards, I'm so glad I read it, because I think that's where the magic is. It's
you some authors are better read. And then some are great on audio, like House in the Cerulean Sea. I read it and did audio, and I think the audio was better.
Oh, hands down, the audiobook is so much better. Absolutely. I loved all the voices. I was giggling along, like, yeah.
And did you know that it's not a finish? I thought it was done after 2. He is going to write more.
I know. I watched him do his he did like a question and answer thing when the last book came out, and he said he wasn't finished.
So happy to hear that.
Yeah, I can't wait. He's brilliant. Well, that was my top 10. I had a really hard time picking 2. I'm not gonna lie. It was.
Yeah, I did have some honorable mentions. Were very hard for me to cut off. Was Dark Matter by Blake Crouch. Very hard to cut off. A Winter Garden by Kristin Hanna.
I like that one.
Quicksilver by Callie Hart.
Haven't got
People
to it yet.
never hate it. I loved it.
Yeah.
And then Bury Our Bones in the Midnight Soil by V.E. Schwab was hard for me to not include as well. That was so good.
That was my number 11. So I was the same as you. That was number 11. And I thought you might add it to your list, which was one of the reasons why I didn't bump any off of mine. It was a really good book.
It was. And it was slower paced than I typically do. I think that was only my second book by her. Addie LaRue was also slow paced, but beautifully done. So I think that's just her. Is it a her? It's a she, right? I think that's just her style, but it's a slow build and it's worth it. And all of in them, they're great reads.
I've read quite a few of her books. She always is she's very world building. She likes to, she wants you to really
experience what they've gone through.
Yeah. So she always writes that way. I actually quite enjoy her writing style. So that was a winner for me. But again, I was trying to balance it all out with different genres too, and it was really hard. So.
See, I feel like most of mine were like a mix of sci-fi and fantasy.
Well, that's your jam, right? Isn't that your
That's
top
my
genre?
jam. I mean, I do also really like I'll read romance, but they're never going to make my top. They're not profound enough, you know? I love thrillers, but same. And then historical fiction, but it's not my most read genre at all. Every now and then I throw one in there, and mostly Kristin.
They have to have all the pieces for me. So,
yes.
And it's hard. Like fantasies tend to do that because they tend to have all the elements.
Or romance. That's my favorite.
Yeah.
Because you get the fantasy and you also get the romance, and I love it.
Yeah. I like it too. Well, I think I'm done with my books. Like I did have I really did enjoy the Inheritance games. So but yeah, that's pretty much my year so far. That's been my whole
I've had ups and downs this year. I've had a lot of I even had a 1.5 star read recently. What was it? Oh gosh. The Never King, the Vicious Lost Boys series.
Gosh. Okay, yeah, not a fan. Not a fan. Like
yeah.
I read the first book and
I read the first book and then I was like, you know what? I heard it gets better. So I started the second book. And the only reason is because they're so short. And I got like halfway through it and I was like, I'm done. I don't really care to see where it's going.
Yeah, that was me as well. I didn't care enough about the writing style. Like it seemed a little juvenile, so I didn't bother past book one.
And then I also feel like all the Frida McFadden books I read this year were all misses for me. The X was okay. But all of her newer stuff that's come out has not been my favorite.
She pumps so much out in a year. She's gone quantity over quality. But I don't mind it. Like the short audiobooks, I like have a good listen.
Right. I actually didn't like The Crash at all. That was one of my least favorite reads so far this year. But I always find her female characters annoying.
Yeah.
It was annoying and repetitive. So
I'm with you. But yeah, I think we both had a pretty good year so far with our readings. It'd be interesting to see I know. I wonder what our lists are going to look like by the end of the year. Whether people they're going to have moved places or books are going to replace.
I literally cannot imagine that Brighthaven will not be my number one spot. Like it is such a favorite that all over Book Talk and all over everything, people are like, "Oh, I need a recommendation. I need this," and I'm like, "This book, read it now." You can't.
Okay. Well, it's going to be interesting to see if my friends moves off the top spot for me and whether yours.
Yeah, we'll see.
Thank you for joining us today on our top 10 of the year so far. You can always find us on Instagram. Hannah and I have separate accounts, but we're going to collab posts as well. So Hannah is at Toppling TBR _Hannah. That's HANNA. And then I'm the Toppling TBR _Stacey. You can find us on Facebook as well. That's facebook.com /at the Toppling TBR. Our YouTube channel is www.youtube.com /at the Toppling TBR. We're on Spotify as well. You're just going to have to type that into the search bar because it has the weirdest address. And I hope you enjoyed this episode. Me and Hannah had a really great time telling you all about our favorite books of the year so far.
Hope you love them too.
But we'll catch you next week. Thanks for joining us. I'm Stacey.
And I'm Hannah.
Take care, guys.